fail some. He knows how they game plan each week, so he can anticipate certain things. I guarantee you, he probably anticipates many of the things that go in before they go in. And then certainly he's the type of guy who's on top of it as soon as they do go in. He and the head coach and the offensive coaches that are involved in game planning and strategy go over it so that he totally understands it. It's a unique, great situation for a quarterback, for any player, but certainly for a quarterback, it's ideal. There's no way that he was going to go anywhere else, and I think I'm just happy to have him back. I love watching him play, and they could go all the way. Guarantee he could take them there.
Yeah, they've been so close so many years now when you look at it. And for Drew Brees, Coach, this brings up another question, and I think everybody kind of figured this was coming. We didn't expect Drew Brees to retire, but when you look at it now, they have three quarterbacks. Well, two true quarterbacks, and they have Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill has come out and said he wants to play quarterback. It all leads to Teddy Bridgewater. Looks like he may be on his way out here. I think he will be on his way out. I don't think he's going to hang around for another year. I would love to see him hang around for another year if this is Drew Brees' last year, to see him jump right into that spot for the New Orleans. But it looks like the rumors are he's going to be signed at Tampa right now. That's the hot spot for him. Coach, when you look at this, two questions. One, can New Orleans find a way to keep all three of these guys together for one more year? And two, if Teddy Bridgewater goes to Tampa, is that a good move for all parties here?
Well, there's so many questions wrapped up in that. I'll tell you. First, we'd have to know what their cap situation is, who else has to be signed, what they anticipate coming on, how much are they going to devote to free agency, how much they have to keep in abeyance for their draft. So we can't answer all those questions. So it'd be impossible for us to say, can they keep three quarterbacks? My guess is that with the increased cap, there's probably a way that they could do it. They could be very inventive with the numbers and come up with a way to maybe do it. Wouldn't be a bad situation. Wouldn't be a bad situation for Bridgewater to stay there another year, and would have that engine, that offense to play quarterback behind, and another year of learning under Breeze, which would be excellent for him. But again, I don't know that they can do that from a money standpoint. We'd have to be much more involved in their organization to know that. I think they would like to. Every team would like to have three quarterbacks. I don't know of any team that wouldn't like to have three, but it's almost impossible because of the money.
So when you look at this, Coach, and Teddy Bridgewater, when you look at Tampa, that's the hot spot for him right now. I think he'd be a good fit in Tampa. Like I said, I would love to see him stay with Sean Payton. Stay one more. I understand the whole situation, but when you look at him going to Tampa, it seems that Jameis Winston, Bruce Arians has made it clear. Look, I can win with another quarterback. The comments he's making here make it seem like there's no way you can bring Jameis Winston back just after all this stuff being said. Not saying I disagree with him at all, but it looks like Jameis is on his way out. The rumor is Chicago possibly. It looks like he's going to have to fight for his own starting spot somewhere else. Coach, when you look at Teddy Bridgewater in Tampa, with some of the receivers they have there, now I know they have some offensive line problems, but they have a good enough defense to go out and win. Tampa a good spot for Teddy Bridgewater?
Could be. Bruce Arians does a good job overall, good strategist, and would do a good job with him as a quarterback. And they have a couple of good receivers. I'm not sure about their offensive line. I think they would probably be considered middle of the road in the league with an offensive line. Defense is not bad. They play pretty good defense. So wouldn't be a bad situation at all for him. Certainly he could improve on those turnovers that have been going on there from the quarterback position, and that would give him a better chance to win a couple more ball games.
I heard on today, I believe it was Get Up, and Emmanuel Acho was talking about, well, when you look at Jameis Winston, I would want to keep him because all he has to do to be a really good quarterback for him is to cut his interceptions in half. It's 30. That's
Easier
that's
said than done.
15 interceptions you got to cut there. It's
Yeah, that's easier said than done. Even to cut two or three
right.
is tough.
So and listen, Jameis Winston, he's shown the ability to be good. I think he needs a fresh start. But coach, I want to move on to something here. Joe Burrow. It looks like he's going to be the number one pick in the draft, or is he? Everything is spinning here when we talk about the draft. Of course, now we'll talk about the mock draft that Mel Kiper come out with today. But I want to talk about Joe Burrow. He is quoted as saying, "I do have leverage. They have their process, and I have my process." We haven't even gotten to the combine yet. There's a lot of things that happen leading up to the draft, and a lot of information gathered. Right now, I'm focused on being the best football player I can be. I'm in this unique spot. You can go watch my film. I don't have to prove myself at Pro Day and at the Combine, so I'm in a unique spot where I can focus on getting ready for the year. Coach, a lot has changed in football since Eli Manning, and now you mentioned Elway and stuff as well. Does he have leverage at all here? I mean, this seems to me this is a far-fetched statement.
Well, let's define leverage and take a look at true leverage would have been Elway, a good example, because he was offered a very, very lucrative contract by the New York Yankees, and Steinbrenner even told him he'd be in the major leagues within 2 months or whatever it was, that he would get to the major leagues that year. And he was supposed to be the next Mickey Mantle in New York. So it was quite an attractive, and he had that type athletic ability, and was an outstanding baseball player. I know you don't remember that, and most of the people out there probably don't remember what a good baseball player he was. So he had a chance to go play baseball. That's leverage. Yes, he had it. So when he said, "I'm not going to the Baltimore Colts, I'll go to New York. I'll sign with New York instead, the Yankees," that was true leverage. So they had to do something to keep him in football. Um, they should have done something before the draft. Is what they should have done. I'm not going to get into that now. That'd be a whole hour show on how Irsay messed that up. But they did, and he ended up with a bad deal, not a good deal for Elway. But now when you look at Manning, let's skip to Manning now. And Manning did not want to go to San Diego. I strongly suspect, it was some problem that his dad had with the general manager at some point out there. Okay? So when his dad, who had so much, Archie Manning, who had so much respect around the league, and also people knew that if he said something, he would do it. And he stepped into the situation and said, if San Diego, it would be better if San Diego, I think he worded it the way he worded it, was not threatening at all, but it was right to the point. If San Diego I would hope they wouldn't draft him, that somebody else would draft him, or they'd make a trade if they're that interested or whatever. But if they do, then he won't. He doesn't want to go there. He'll sit out the year and re-enter the draft next year. Now, that sounds like a threat that most people wouldn't follow through with. But the league and the owners and everybody knowing Archie Manning, when he said that, he knew that would happen. That was true leverage. Joe Burrow doesn't have that kind of leverage. He certainly doesn't have the Elway leverage. So, what leverage does he have when he's talking about leverage? And by the way, the salaries are slotted now, so it's not like he can go in and demand an outrageous salary. He can't do that because they are pretty well slotted. So the only leverage he has, I think, is to say, well, I'm just going to hold out a year. You can't very well do that. He's not going to do that. And think about the money that he would lose, and that's another year before he can get to the big contract. So he'd not only lose the money that he would have gotten this coming fall, but that added year of waiting for a bigger contract, you have to wait so many years before you can, after the draft, before you can sign into a bigger, longer-term contract. So he would lose a considerable amount of money, millions of dollars. I just don't know if he and his family are in a position to do that or would want to do that.
I don't think so, Coach. And that brings up another question. I have friends of mine that ask me, when you talk about these salaries are slotted for these guys, and that's a change that they've made. Is that a good change? Is that kind of alleviate a lot of the headaches and things here? Like guys know going into what they're going to get paid, no questions asked, or does this need to be negotiable, in your opinion?
No, I think it's good. I think the whole league, the whole salary structure should be slotted right on into the following years. I just think salaries have gotten so far out of hand, out of line. But as long as the owners are willing to do it, then more power to them, I guess, and let them go. But especially the entry salaries, when you think about what used to happen with a kid coming in, a rookie coming in and making 3 times what a 10-year veteran was making on that same football team, just it doesn't make sense. And it really created a lot of problems in the locker room. So they were very, very wise. And I think it was certainly acceptable to the Players Union, the Players Association, because they knew as well that you need to have some advantage in seniority.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And Coach, I think that's a good point there. Look, slotting these what these guys are going to get paid, it benefits everybody. We are seeing the headaches now with what guys are getting paid, which is insane. I mean, you talk about the Dak Prescott thing and him wanting over $40 million when the Cowboys offered him $33. It's not like you're not going to get paid, but it's not for me to say. I'm not the one out there doing it. I just think that it gets a little out of control here, and it's almost like a carousel of, well, it's my turn to get paid. I want to be the highest paid guy, regardless of whether you deserve it or not. But listen, we're up against a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about Mike Tomlin's situation here, speaking out for Mason Rudolph. It's been such an ugly situation. We want to get into that, and we also want to talk about Mel Kiper coming out with his mock draft 2.0. There's some changes that you're going to want to come back for. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
Geico presents Left Brain versus Right Brain.
After much deliberation, I've decided we should switch to Geico.
Hey, sounds good to me.
We could save hundreds of dollars on our car insurance. Which, now I'm just blue skying here, we can reinvest those funds into my business idea.
Oh, not this again.
First, get some investors on board, right? Nobody is going to invest in dental floss made of turkey jerky. Okay, well, not with that attitude. Wow.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
First Take, Your Take, with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
His football career started as a quarterback at Pensacola High. It culminated as the coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, Coach K. Stevenson talks football every day at noon on Talk Football with Coach K.
Kareem Hunt got pulled over last week for speeding.
This guy's been in trouble over and over and over again. Now, if they get him out of this, he will get in trouble again.
Noon to 1, weekdays on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You can watch Coach K talk football live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach K. Stevenson. Here on this Tuesday afternoon, Coach, I want to get into a couple things now. We talked about this, and it's been all over the news. And ever since it happened last year when we talk about Myles Garrett and the Mason Rudolph situation here. Well, now Mike Tomlin. We haven't heard from a lot of people other than those two. Mike Tomlin has come out and said, listen, these accusations are serious, not only in terms of Mason Rudolph's character, but his professional pursuits. Nobody on that field is a member of the Cleveland Browns or Pittsburgh Steelers collaborated what was said by Myles Garrett. To be quite honest with you, we were a little hacked off by what we saw this weekend. Not specifically from Myles Garrett, because he's been in that lane that he's in. It was what was displayed with the interview with ESPN and the way it was presented. I don't think it was fair to Mason Rudolph, and that's why I'm here today. And he spoke out and said, listen, nobody said anything on either teams here about that word being said. And we know this word. I talked about it yesterday, Coach, that, listen, if you accuse somebody of that, especially nowadays, regardless, you better be 100% sure. Now, Mason Rudolph has come out and said he might even sue because of the slandering of his name and what it's going to do to him because, Coach, you know this just as well as I do. Regardless of what happens here, who comes out scot-free in this, Mason Rudolph will be looked upon differently by people. It can cost him a lot of opportunities, endorsements, whatever it may be. Not saying that he would get them, just saying he is looked upon in the public eye differently. And when you talk about a professional athlete, that means everything. More importantly, I go back to this, Coach. This is it's not a good situation, but if you're going to call somebody that, you have got to be 100% sure. And right now, I mean, even Garrett's own teammates, I mean, you've heard hearsay or whatever. Well, I thought I may have heard something or whatever. There's no guarantee. No guys came to his defense here. This is a bad situation.
It is an unfortunate situation. It's a sign of the times, unfortunately, that we live in. And we've gotten to the point that if we feel anything is politically incorrect, then we take it to the hilt. Now, this is bad, calling that's a terribly demeaning term, obviously, and it means something very strong to the African American race. So, if it happened, it should not have happened. But I have to, I really, Mike Tomlin's an honest guy, good guy. And if he had said that, Tomlin would tell you, yes, he made a mistake and he won't do it again. But he said that, and he's extremely remorseful about it. He would do whatever he could. But for him to say, I have checked not only with our people, but also I have people in Cleveland, and I've checked with those players, so you heard that, and no one can verify that he said that. No one. Now, if you hear that coming from Mike Tomlin, I think you should be willing to accept that, because if this was someone else who didn't have the integrity of Tomlin, you might wonder a little bit about it. But not with him stepping up. I think it's something that they should put to bed and get this behind them. And what they don't understand, the longer something like this goes on, the more it hurts the game. It hurts the fan appeal. It hurts everything. So get it behind you, for crying out loud, and let's get on with the game. It's unfortunate that if it did, I don't think it did. I really don't. I believe Mike Tomlin. That's just the bottom line.
I believe that the same thing, Coach. And listen, I try to see both sides of everything here. I understand that, and we're hearing that, well, maybe he thought he heard something here. I don't think you accuse somebody. You better not accuse somebody. Like you said, it's a sign of the times here, but you better not accuse somebody if you think. You better know. It's simply put there. I understand, listen, if you're Myles Garrett, he made a mistake by hitting, Mason Rudolph with his helmet. Okay, you apologize for it, and really we were ready to let this thing go. But what happened is Myles Garrett came back out after all this is done here. We kind of put this whole thing to bed, and Myles Garrett reiterated, well, he said that word to me. That's why I did it. There was no need for him to do that.
No, and it certainly seems as though this is just an excuse for Garrett for swinging the helmet and could have ended up with a far, far greater discipline than that, than the 6 games. It could have been half a year or more this year. Could have stepped in and said, we're going to keep you out of football for a year. It could have been that severe. So I think he was looking at, this is my guess, he was looking at worst case scenario and felt that he had to protect himself that way.
Yeah, I agree, Coach. And one thing that I will say on making a point of what you said earlier, Mike Tomlin's not a guy that will put himself on the line if he doesn't 100% believe Mason Rudolph there. He's accused his players of things. He's called guys out before. He's a truthful human being.
Well, if he stepped into the situation here, then he stepped in for a reason to get to the bottom of it and to hopefully put it to bed. And he put his name on the line. And listen, Mike Tomlin's not going to put his name on the line and tell a lie. He's just not going to do it. Bottom line to me, that should settle the whole thing. We should get on with it. And now, if they're smart, they'll let this lie, like you said, and not bring it up again.
Absolutely. And moving on here, Coach, I want to get to this. Mel Kiper came out with his mock draft 2.0. I know it seems everybody's got their mock drafts out there. Mel Kiper's a guy that you can trust here. Todd McShay and Mel Kiper do a pretty good job. They're you can read mock drafts from all these articles and things like that. These are two guys that you can get a pretty good idea of. Well, Mel Kiper came out with the one today, Coach, and kind of make you turn your head a little bit, but you can understand where he's coming from. He said, of course, number 1, Burrow to the Bengals. I think that's obvious for everybody. Chase Young has not changed. Washington Redskins, it seems they're going to stick with Chase Young. They have Dwayne Haskins. They have no use to go after a quarterback right now, which I may disagree with, but we'll see. The Detroit Lions, this is the interesting thing here. We've heard a lot of rumors, but the Detroit Lions had originally wanted Jeff Okudah in Mel Kiper. Well, now they're working out a deal with Stafford. They're trying to figure out what do they want to do long term. Stafford will turn 32 this year, so he still has some tread on those tires, but he's had some big-time injuries when you look at it. So do the Lions look for a quarterback? Well, you've got a couple pretty good ones here. Right now he has Tua going to the Lions at number 3, and then number 5, the Dolphins will take Justin Herbert. Coach, when I bring this up because it's funny. We go back and forth on this, and you've been there. You know how all this stuff works with the hearsay, and you're trying to build up and get as much as you can for your opportunities here. The Lions are sitting at number 3, the perfect position in this year's draft when you look at it. Is this a bunch of hearsay possibly for the Lions to get more picks, get as much as they can for that number 3 pick, because what it seems is if the Dolphins trade up to number 3 from number 5, the Lions are still going to be able to get who they want originally, which was Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State. So is this a hearsay situation?
Listen, one rule is don't believe anything you hear coming out of the early round draft pick camps. They're just building equity. They're building equity. Now, if you look, they got a coach who's sitting on a hot seat. What happens if you bring in a rookie quarterback? I don't care who it is. You probably got 2 to 3 years before he's going to be a winning type player. They don't have 2 to 3 years. Stafford is an established. I think he's a wild hair. You know, I think he's. I don't think he's ever had a coach put the hammer down and take total control on everything from protecting the football to time management to all the other things that you would see Brady and Breeze and Rodgers do. They just have not done that. But he gives them the best chance right now to win from the quarterback position. Now, what do you want to do? You want to leverage everything you can possibly leverage from that position that you're in. Somebody's going to give you a gold mine to come up there and make sure they get Tua. I think that's the thing. They will have their eye on him as being the savior for the franchise. Now, there's some teams that have an awful lot to give, like a Miami is one. And there's some other teams as well. But I think you might see the opportunity. They may see the opportunity to parlay that third pick, let somebody else move in there. They have Stafford, the best chance to win at quarterback, and they get their corner that they want with that 4th or 5th pick by moving up in there. And they may demand the 4th pick some way, so there may have to be a trade in there to move up to get that 3rd pick. So anything can happen right now. It's going to be fun to watch. But I'll tell you what, it's beyond me to take a corner that high. You're either taking a pass rusher, you're taking a quarterback, or you're taking an offensive lineman, or you're taking a back. I just can't see taking a corner. I don't care how good they are.
Yeah, we've seen this not work out before. But, Coach, when you look at this, too, I want to mention another team that's kind of under the radar, but just looking at this for me, just my perspective, of course, when the draft happens, we'll all know about Cam Newton. We'll know what's going on here, whether they want to keep him or not. They've kind of been quiet about the situation. Of course, David Tepper came out last week and said, listen, whenever he's healthy, then come talk to me. Until he's healthy, we're not gonna worry about this. But the Carolina Panthers is a team, a sneaky team, Coach, I'm going to tell you, that they could be looking for a quarterback right here, too, and trade up, especially with Matt Rule, new coach come in here, new system. Joe Brady's there. It'd just be interesting to see. They may want to trade up for that number 3 pick as well.
Yeah, let me tell you what, that's really, really crazy. Our man, Joe Brady, says, I have leverage, okay? There might be a place that he wants to go. And that place might be Carolina with Joe Brady there. You know that Joe Brady has gone to whomever in Carolina and said, if there's any way we could get Joe Burrow, we'll have a quarterback for 12, 15 years, and we'll win. He's capable of winning a Super Bowl. We need to get him, if at all possible. I would almost bet you the mortgage that they've looked at every way. It may not be possible for them to get to that spot, but they've looked at every way possible to move up and get Joe Burrow. Now, to do that, they would have to get Detroit's 3rd. Okay? which means that some way, somehow in there, they probably got to deal with Cam Newton some way, somehow, and draft picks, plural. So I don't know what they might have. I haven't really looked at it, and we're a little ways away from the draft. Believe me, we're going to be spending a lot of time on the draft between now and then. But it's interesting especially this year, what's going on with the quarterbacks. And keep in mind, the X factor out there are the quarterbacks that are free agents right now in limbo. So factor all that in, and it's really going to be something special as to how they all end up.
I can imagine what it's like inside an NFL front office right now with all the speculation going on. I know as just a fan in general, just watching this unfold every single day, there's something new, some new rumor going on here. I just think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. That's part of the intrigue with the draft. Of course, the Combine starts this Sunday, and it'll run for a week there. It's going to be interesting to see some of these guys go out there. I know we talked about yesterday, Mike Florio talking about these top prospects need to get paid to go to the Combine. That's just absurd to me, but that's neither here nor there. Listen, we're up against a break here. When we come back, a lot of Saban news for you. Saban bringing on a new coach to his staff, and Saban comparing Tua to a couple guys. Maybe you've heard of them. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K here on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 991 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
What's up, Chad here from the Sports Drive? Well, hoops into full swing. Let's walk down memory lane. Like when Bob Costas called Michael Jordan's wife his mom.
Michael, surrounded by his mom, his wife. That wasn't fair, but I'm covered with champagne I can hardly see.
Yikes. Or Magic Johnson working with his business partner, Rob Pelinka. Best friends.
I wasn't having fun coming to work anymore, especially when I got to work beside you, knowing that you want my position.
And this coach so proud of his team.
Came down the offensive rebound. They got every offensive rebound. We didn't get one of them. What else do you want to know?
Sports Drive, 5 to 7 on ESPN Pensacola.
Redbox has the newest movies fresh from the theater, plus award winners and nominees starting at under $2 a night. Now at the box and on demand. Ford vs. Ferrari. Matt Damon and Christian Bale star in this high-octane thrill ride. Travel back to 1966 and watch Ford challenge Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Head to one of the 41,000 Redbox locations or stream instantly on demand. Prices may vary by location, subject to applicable taxes. Additional terms at redbox.com.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil, based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Get a $22 Shell gift card with a Pennzoil full synthetic purchase. Ends 2/23/20. Terms apply. Details at pennzoil.com/oil change offer.
Hey, this is Chad Brillante from the Afternoon Sports Drive, and you're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson. Coach, I want to get into a couple things here. Of course, talking some Roll Tide football, always a good thing around here in the South. Well, some people are like, yeah, right, get them out of here. No, but listen, Saban, I want to get into this first, and we'll talk about the coaching staff situation. Saban compared Tua to Breeze and Rodgers, Coach. The way they throw the football, his style of play, his mentality, just his overall IQ. Now, that's a pretty strong comparison there. I mean, Breeze and Rodgers, those are two respectable as they come guys in the NFL. Is that a fair statement? Do you see the comparison there?
I do. I think it's a very fair statement. That's not saying that he is as good as Breeze right now or as good as Rodgers right now, but he has some of the same types of mechanics, if you will, as they do, and that's true. He's a very accurate down the field thrower. He spins the ball beautifully coming out of there. He's got good velocity on the ball. I think he sees the field extremely well. Got a lot of football intuition about him, football smarts, and I see a lot of similarities. I think that's a good comparison.
Coach, in all this, I know, and we've said this before, I sure hope Tua is going to be healthy. I just, everything that we've gotten so far is good, but I want to see this young man play in the NFL because him and Joe Burrow were two dynamic quarterbacks. You made that statement that we don't get to see this hardly ever, that you have two quarterbacks of this stature to go into the draft the same year. I mean, this is, even next year, you talk about Trevor Lawrence, well, there's still some question marks. You watch the national championship game with Trevor Lawrence, and you take it back for a second, and Joe Burrow took the stand. But to have two guys like this, these are guys that, man, oh man, watching them go back and forth in that game too was just epic. I mean, it was so much fun to watch. And Coach, we're hearing this, Joe Burrow, well, Tua is a better quarterback until he got hurt. I just want to ask you, like I've said, you have coached at the highest level, Coach. You've had some amazing players. When you compare these two here, Tua before he got hurt. Now, I know that's a what-if statement, but was he better than Joe Burrow?
No, that's a tough question. Listen, let me put it this way. They're both outstanding quarterbacks. Both can be franchise quarterbacks in the National Football League. But this last year, what Joe Burrow did and what I saw him do on numerous occasions, because I watched him pretty close, I've not seen a college quarterback do before. Period. I don't care who it was. Peyton Manning or whomever. He just had an awareness, a pre-snap look, and a quick recognition of defenses, putting the ball on the money, identifying the weak spots in the defense, one-on-one situations, probably had an advantage even with matchups in those situations, which we don't know how they compared their guy against the opponent. But they did have one-on-one. We know that. They were one-on-one 90% of the time. He threw the ball where he should. I don't know of anybody that could have done better. I really don't. I mean, well, you couldn't have done better. It's the best in 150 years of football. That was the best year ever. So let's put it there. How do you become the best to ever play the game in 150 years at that position? Now, could Tua do that? Well, it's difficult to say. Anybody would duplicate that, but Tua would come close, I think. They're both very, very competent franchise quarterbacks, and no doubt in my mind about that. And I agree with you. When would you see two quarterbacks come out like this? It's just unbelievable. And what some people are saying now, what I'm hearing about Justin Herbert, we need to get this out in the open too, because he is considered. In fact, some people said if he'd come out last year, he may have been the first quarterback taken. What I'm hearing about Justin Herbert, when they say, well, if he puts it all together, he's got. I heard somebody talking about 3 different things with him, and I forget exactly what they were referring to, but they were talking about 3 different skills that you had to have to throw the football, and if he could put them all together, he could be an all American, all pro, Hall of Fame quarterback. Don't say that. That's the worst thing you can say. What you're saying to me is, if he can do this, if he can put it together, meaning he's got that terrible word, potential.
I don't use it anymore, Coach.
And I'll tell you, that's what you're saying to me. I don't have to worry about potential with Joe Burrow or Tua. Now, the other kid is probably going to be a good quarterback. I think he's, from what I have seen, not nearly as much as the other 2, but from what I've seen, he is a good quarterback. He checks all the boxes, certainly from the measurable and eyeball contest, that he checks all those boxes. I'm not sure about the intangibles, all the intangibles, but he certainly has a chance to be one of the better quarterbacks. I cannot put him in the same class with those top 2 that we talked about.
Yeah, and that's fair enough there. As an Oregon fan, I love Justin Herbert, but even I've come on here and say, listen, there's things that he's got to work on. I still think the touch pass, the ability to put touch on a football, being able to drop it in between a linebacker and a safety is so important, especially at the next level. He struggled with that at the college level. A fantastic quarterback has that P word, Coach. Everybody says. That's all I hear about him. Well, the potential. Well, yeah, of course. Anybody has potential. If you have legs and you have an arm and you can throw a football, well, yeah, you have potential. What does that truly mean with everybody? I think it's almost like a cop-out word when you look at that whole situation there.
Well, it is. The scouts, my scouts, they knew to never come in and talk about potential with me. I go through the roof, because if we're going to sit here and I'm going to put my behind on the line for potential, you got another thing coming. That's not going to happen.
Well, Coach, moving on with some more Alabama news. Of course, Saban has announced he's bringing in Charlie Strong, going to be a defensive analyst. Now, there's a couple things with this. I have a far-fetched idea. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'll get your take on this, Coach. Pete Golding is the defensive coordinator right now. A lot of people are not happy with Pete Golding, and people understand they had to play a lot of freshmen. You lost basically your quarterback on defense. But the defense didn't play like Alabama has normally played before with that intensity. There were opportunities where guys, they just gave up on the play. Just a lot of misreads there. Now, a lot of that can be taken back to a freshman being put in a high-leverage situation like that. But still, a lot of people are not happy when Pete Golding was brought in, so he's the scapegoat of all this. I potentially think this could be an opportunity. Charlie Strong goes in there. If Pete Golding has another bad year or iffy year here, Charlie Strong could scoot into that defensive coordinator position. Charlie Strong is a great coach. He's not a great head coach. He's proven that. He's been at Louisville, Texas, South Florida. He hasn't succeeded there. We just a lot of question marks here. But for Saban to bring him in, it's almost like an internship. From like you mentioned before we started the show, Coach, you go from head coach to intern. So, but am I wrong to think this though?
No, but I'm not sure that that's the exact reason that he's there. I think he will call on Charlie's knowledge and expertise, and combined with his. Now, keep in mind, last year they played with a secondary that Saban said over and over and over again, we're going to have some problems with the secondary, even to the extent that they lost force and contain on run plays many times. There were some passing game they gave up that normally they wouldn't give up with a Saban coached secondary. Those kids, plus the addition of one or two others, they're going to be much better this year. Plus they have their captain coming back who's agreed to stay in school another year. Davis, I think is his name. But they are going to be a better defense one way or the other. Now, keep in mind, Saban does a lot of the coaching on the defensive side on the field. So I look for him to be a better defense, and I think Charlie will help him. Certainly, he's going to watch practices, have ideas, and Saban will talk to him. What do you see? What do you think? Look at the tape. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? and he'll get some feedback there. So it's a good situation, it really is.
Coach, my one question before we get a break: he'll turn 69 during the college football season, this upcoming season. How long do you think does he have 2 or 3 more years left in him, or is it 5, 6, or as long as he wants to?
Well, I think he's got as long as he wants to, but how long does he want to? Nobody knows. I would say at his age, he's got at least another 5, 6 years that he could coach and coach very productively, depending on what he wants to do and what his family obligations are, and so on.
Yeah, that's the question mark that I hear with everybody when they talk about Saban, is him being at his age. When does he leave? Well, I think he leaves on his own terms here for what he's done for the University of Alabama, and he'll know. Listen, this is a coach that is not going to drag on. He knows that if it's not to the level that he wants, he's going to leave. He just doesn't like coaching that way. But listen, we're up against a break here. When we come back, we've got some more NFL news for you. We've got some XFL stuff going on as well. You're not going to want to miss. And Derrick Henry talking about Tom Brady. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back. You listen to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 991 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
First Take, Your Take with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Friends, let's talk about Daniel. A year ago, he resolved to stop putting off what he wanted to do, get into information technology. Daniel enrolled in My Computer Career and is now already a few months into his IT career. Make 2020 your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet on campus or live online just 2 times a week. It ain't rocket science. It's My Computer Career. mycomputercareer.edu.
This is Stacy on her motorcycle.
What an incredible view!
And this is Stacy off her motorcycle.
Does this have sucralose in it?
On her motorcycle.
Oh, the wind in my hair!
Off her motorcycle.
It's pronounced et cetera, not etc.
On.
Woohoo! Yes!
Off.
No.
You're better on your bike. And with basic policy starting at $75 a year, quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
The greatest name in sports radio is ESPN. Wherever you have Alexa, you can hear ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Just say,
Alexa, enable ESPN Pensacola 1330 skill.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
Credit a great performance by Garoppolo. And I love the way he throws the football. He's got all the things going for him.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
the teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson here on this Tuesday afternoon. We're happy that you have joined us. Remember our call or text line, 850-623-1330. We got a few minutes here. Coach, I want to get to a couple things when we talk about NFL news. Now, we've talked a lot of NFL here. One thing I want to mention, I thought it was interesting, and we've talked about Tom Brady, the potential of him going to the Titans. Well, Derrick Henry said, listen, this is funny. Brady is the greatest of all time, but why would we not want Ryan Tannehill back? Well, I think you just said it, Coach. Am I wrong on this? He's the greatest of all time. Why would you not want him on your team, especially when you were so close to making it to the Super Bowl? Yeah, you want Ryan back. Now, Tannehill did a good job. Not going to say that, but if you have the potential to get the greatest of all time.
Yeah, if you're going to go play for a championship, do you want Ryan Tannehill at quarterback or Tom Brady? I think you'll take Brady. But it's interesting how they can maybe work something out. Remember, they've got a big chunk of their salary cap is a quarterback that they want to get out of there anyway. So if they get him out, that frees up some money there. And maybe they can keep Tannehill and Brady.
Yeah. Like I just want to win as a Titans fan. I do like Ryan Tannehill. I don't know long term if that's the guy. Part of me, I was tricked into starting to believe maybe he is, and maybe he is. Who knows? But if you have an opportunity to get Tom Brady, especially when you're this close,
that's the end of a conversation right there. You got a chance to get Brady in, and you've got a football team to surround him with, and some talent, and you've got a chance to go on from there and be competitive in the playoffs and whatever. Shoot, you're kidding yourself, your players, your fans, everybody if you don't make that move.
Absolutely. One thing that Coach has come out to, the NFL CBA could substantially decrease punishment for marijuana, and the timeline that you're tested for this. I know when we look at the U.S. now and how we are looking to the marijuana situation, is this something that surprises you as much?
I can't say it surprises, but I don't like to hear it. I don't think they should.
Well, 850-623-1330 is our phone line. Caller, who is this?
Hey, y'all. It's Jonah. How you doing?
Good. Jonah, how are you?
Yes, Jonah.
I'm doing good. Thank you. JP, I wanted to give you some perspective, man. Ever since Steve McNair took y'all to the Super Bowl and that longest yard situation happened, you were destined to where I am destined to in Cowboys fandom. Eternal letdown. Brady, even if he does go to the Titans, will not take y'all to the Super Bowl and win. I'm sorry. I don't want to rain on your parade, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I just can't see Tom Brady going to Nashville, Tennessee wearing his Ugg boots. I just don't see being a good fit.
Jonah, I look, we've talked to Cowboys before. I told you I felt your pain with the Titans. Just let me think that Tom Brady could help me get there. Just let me have that hope for one second before you dash my dreams. No, Jonah, I look, it is interesting, though, and Coach, I think it's an interesting perspective here. If Tom Brady goes, there's no guarantee. There is some holes they're going to have to fill. But I don't know. Jonah.
Well, what's the nearest what team is near being a playoff competitive football team? What teams are near as you look around the league? Where he could go. Now, as far as Nashville's a great city. I'm sure he'd love living in Nashville, being around Nashville. It's becoming the cultural center for the whole country, certainly the South. But at any rate, they have, when you look at their football team, they're as near as Dallas. I think those two are almost in the same boat as far as being competitive enough to get over the hump if they had the quarterbacking to do so. Quarterbacking makes such a big difference. And I think it could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know if I had to bet on it. I would bet they find some way to get him back to New England. But These other scenarios could happen, and there's certainly a real possibility at this point.
Jonah, before we let you go, where do you think Tom Brady will end up in all this?
Wherever he goes, I'm sure he will look great in the outfit that he wears.
So are you hoping Tom Brady comes to Dallas?
Oh, my goodness, I would sell my kidney for it. There's no doubt in my mind that it would be fantastic. But I'm also realistic, and I know Jerry Jones' ego is too big to allow somebody to come there that's more recognizable than him. All the caricatures of Jerry Jones everywhere that I've seen on any kind of comedy show, it's completely accurate, and I can't wait for him to retire. He should have kept Jimmy Johnson there.
Oh.
And now I have to live my lifetime as a Cowboys fan.
Well, that's a good point. But here's what you have to remember about Jerry Jones, Jonah. The one thing that he wants in life is to win one more Super Bowl. If he can win another Super Bowl for Dallas Cowboys, that would be his big project forever. And so I think if he could do it with Brady, or if he could do it with Satan, he would do it. Whatever he had to do, he would make it happen.
Who knows? Maybe he'll replace Tua down in Alabama. Crazier things have happened. Y'all have a good day.
You too, Jonah.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, I think Jonah right there, Coach. It's interesting. Jonah takes the feelings of a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans is just that saltiness with Jerry Jones, and rightfully so, because, look, if he can do this would be one of the best signings ever because he's made so many wrong moves moving forward. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
Well, he would catch a lot of flack from people saying, "What have you done about the future? Now you've traded away the quarterback." Don't worry about it. They go win the Super Bowl. You'll end up you can end up with another quarterback.
Well, Coach, once again we run out of time. A few more things we wanted to get to, but it's been a pleasure, my friend.
You bet. Look forward to tomorrow as always.
And tomorrow, same time at 12 o'clock here, catch Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 991 FM.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Drew Brees isn't done yet. He'll return for a 20th NFL season. The Saints quarterback posting to Instagram he'll make another run at it. The 41-year-old, said to be an unrestricted free agent next month, needs to work out a new contract with New Orleans. With Brees back, expect the Saints to have a chance at a second Lombardi trophy, says